Good morning, good afternoon, good evening internet, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides. Hi there. So this is it. This is Norman's first trip on the trails. Now I've only ridden him once since I picked him up briefly. I rode him to the shops. So this is his first time on the dirt. And today we're on the first trail I ever rode. The trail that I rode with Buddy in my Hell Road 2-part video. And today we're going to take this trail. I wanted to ride a trail that I know because obviously I don't know the bike, so I don't want to have an unknown bike and an unknown trail. So we're just going to ride this trail today. We're going to take the longer route, which is off to the right, just to give me more opportunity to get used to the bike. So I'll record most of it for you and we'll see if we can put a video together. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the story of how I ended up getting a Himalayan and not some other bike. I did consider other options, so we'll talk about that later on. But anyway, as you can see, since I picked Buddy up, I've managed to do a couple of things. I've managed to fit these reflective stickers so that mountain rescue can find me a bit easier when I'm lying in a ditch somewhere. Actually, having said that, maybe I should have stuck them on the underside of the cases. Yeah, they might have been more use to me there. Anyway, so yeah, we've put the reflective stickers on. I've also attached these bags to the front. I don't really need them, but I bought them. I've got one each side. I bought them for the Meteor originally, and I couldn't really find a satisfactory way of mounting them. So I just thought might as well put them on the Himalayan. They're there if I ever need them. And apart from that, we've just fitted the phone mount, the quad lock mount, and the camera mount for pram cam. So yeah, that's it really. So we've just come down this little bit of dirt. It is quite bumpy, but not too bad. And I'll be really interested now to compare how it is to ride this trail on a Himalayan compared to riding it on Buddy, the little Meteor that can. So yeah, enough chit chat. Let's get on. It's a bit of a funny day today. You can see it's kind of misty. It is quite sunny and warm though. It's about 25 degrees. A little bit windy in places, but not too bad. Certainly not as bad as recent rides in terms of wind. So, let's go. Oh yes, just a quick update for you. I'm currently using the karate kick method to get on the bike because the ground's a bit soft. When the ground's harder, I do the adventure boy mount, which is when you put your left leg on the foot peg, your hands on the bars, and then you just swing your right leg over. That works well, but you need fairly solid ground for that job. So we're going in with the karate kick mount this time. That's how you do it. Right, tally ho. Do a little bit of the old standing up adventure boy stuff. Give you a better view of where we're going as well. Oh, this is exciting. Woohoo! Wait. It's definitely a different experience to doing it on the Meteor, because on the Meteor, second gear is a bit slower. On this bike in second gear I'm going at a bit of a lick really, and obviously on the Meteor you have to go slower anyway because of the ground clearance and everything else, so it's not too bad. But yeah, this bike currently at the moment feels like it's trying to go faster than I want it to go. The only way I could prevent that would be to go down to first gear, but that seems a little bit excessive, so I'll try and live with the speed that but this bike feels comfortable out in a second. There's a bit of a water crossing there for you. But yeah, this is a really exciting bike for me now, not because it's a Himalayan particularly, because Himalayans are pretty common, pretty well known, not terribly glam. But what's exciting about it for me is just the fact that it opens up a whole new world of motorcycling to me, one which I haven't experienced in 37 years of motorcycling. So it's really super exciting because it does open a whole new chapter in my motorcycling life, because now I feel like I've got the bike. I don't think I've got the ability, but I have got the bike to go down any trail, any road, track that I see and that I'm curious about. I could just go down it. Now, in theory, you could do that on the Classic and the Meteor as well, but obviously those bikes I'd like to keep nice and clean and shiny. So I was a bit loath to do that to them, but this bike is not going to be a shiny thing. It's going to be quite dusty most of its life, I would imagine. That's what we bought it for. Did I really come down here with Buddy? I don't know. Maybe it was less rough back then. Yeah, it certainly keeps your mind busy when you're riding off-road. Trying to pick the best route, avoid the biggest wheel tracks, gullies, rocks sticking out. But it's all good, and then you get to see this wonderful countryside. I mean, check this out. Just amazing. Loving it. Loving it. Oh yeah, this does ring a bell, actually. This bend, I seem to remember this bend. So the Himi's doing well. Norman's doing well with his second gear chug. It's lovely up here, and I've been looking on the map. There's loads of similar trails in this sort of vicinity as well, so could spend a fair bit of time up here, I reckon. It's those rocks that I don't like. They really unsettle the bike. Smaller stones I don't mind. Yeah, we didn't pick the best day for it visibility wise, but it's a nice view. Look at that. Wind farm down there. Don't know if you can see that on the GoPro. So, and I believe this is the house we ride past. We have to take a right turn down here and ride past this house, I believe. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, this is the right-hander. Where last time I had to look at the map because I wasn't sure. Now I've looked on the map subsequently, and that trail does take you to the main road as well, by a different route. So that's one for the future. but as I said, today we'll stick to the one we know, more or less know at least. So I've got enough to cope with for one day. Apparently I can switch off the ABS on this bike, but I'm not bothering for now. I think we'll go down to first, just to keep things slow. It's quite steep and quite loose. I suspect my back brake will be wearing out these pads way before my front brake, if this is the kind of riding I'm going to be doing. That was a little bit of a skid. I ended up somewhere I didn't want to be there. All those loose stones. Still, it's all part of the fun. I must have been an absolute legend to do this on Buddy. But yeah, maybe it was in a better condition back then. Right, when I get to the little churchy thing, I'm going to stop and have a drink, because it is quite warm. Yeah, so let me talk about how I came to get a Himalayan then, because it wasn't really totally clear cut. I mean, obviously it was on my list, but I did consider other options. So I started out really with a short list of three: the CRF 300, the Himalayan, or the Scram. Now, the CRF I kind of fairly quickly gave up on, because it was another dealer that I'd have to deal with, and I do have a good relationship, a good understanding with my Royal Enfield dealer, and the Honda dealer was also a bit of a weird one to get to. I thought having to go there for servicing would be a bit of a pain, so then I was left with the choice of two: the Scram or the Himalayan. Well, I had one concern with the Himalayan, and that was the 21-inch front wheel, because I had a Honda Transalp in 1994 and 1995. I bought it brand new, and that had a 21-inch front wheel, and I didn't get on with that on the road at all, particularly in the wet. It scared me to death. I couldn't feel what the front was doing. I was really afraid to carry any lean angle. I used to always feel like I'd lose the front. So with the Himalayan, I wasn't sure whether I'd get on with its 21-inch front wheel. Oh, a little bit of rear ABS there. But so it was imperative really, before I entertained the Himalayan, that I had to go on one. Now, they didn't have a demonstrator, obviously, because they rarely have demonstrators, but they did have a second-hand one for sale at my dealers. There's the church where we'll have a little break. So I was able to have a little test ride on the second-hand Himalayan they had, and I got on fine with it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy this bike on the road. It handles really nicely. I enjoy it on the road way more than I thought I would. I thought it'd be a bit scary on the road, but no, it's great fun on the road. Handles nicely. So I did have a sneaky go on the Himalayan, which I never told you about. That was just for my own curiosity to see how I got on with the 21-inch front wheel, and I got on fine with it. So that put the Himalayan right back in my plans, because the alternative would have been the Scram, because that has a smaller front wheel, so I'd have probably had less issues with that. But as it was all sand, the Himalayan was fine. Yeah, but I was still considering the Scram because I'd seen a couple of really positive YouTube reviews about how well it does off-road, and the sort of fairly light trail riding that I'm looking to do, I'm sure it would cope with perfectly adequately. But then when I looked at the Scram, I thought, right, I'm going to need a centre stand for chain maintenance, so that would be one accessory I'd need to buy. I'd like engine guards, crash protection, and probably hand guards. So when I started adding that up to the price, the difference was no longer that significant between getting that and a Himalayan. And then in the end I thought, well, as I mentioned previously, it kind of rounds the circle completely that I should get a Himalayan, because that was the bike I was saving up to buy when I bought the Meteor. I always wanted a Himalayan, so now we've got one. So this looks like a good spot to park up and have my little drink. So this is where I've been sat drinking my coffee, and it's so quiet up here, it's amazing. Just little butterflies bouncing about along the ground there, and it's really peaceful. Nice little breeze to keep me cool, bit of shade. Yeah, this is what it's all about. This is why we do these things. It's lovely. Okay, let's get back on. I think this section here goes into a fairly steep sandy descent. I remember on the Meteor it was very sandy, and I really struggled to keep my speed under control. So we'll see how we get on with that. I might actually switch off the rear ABS for that job. So yeah, we've got this section here, and then it goes into a steep sandy downhill section, and then we're more or less on ground level. We've rejoined the main road then. So yeah, let's go. Let's do the last little bit. Hopefully we make it down in one piece. Norman's up for it, I'm up for it, so yeah, let's do it. So I haven't managed to turn the rear ABS off because these buttons are terrible, really terrible to press, especially with gloves on, so I just gave up. Hopefully we'll be alright. We made it down with Buddy okay, so we should be good. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, obviously I'm not accustomed to this bike in any way, but I actually felt a lot safer coming down here on Buddy, which is a bit weird when you think about it, coming down here on a cruiser with 100% road bias tyres. But I think it's just because you have to wait so low down, the rider sat so low down, you just feel really quite secure, whereas here, obviously, I'm a lot higher up. And yeah, it kind of accentuates all of the wobbliness to a degree, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. But this is actually very steep. It's just lovely, it's so pretty. Have a bit of second, I think. Anyway, Norman's already a little bit dusty, so that's good. He needs to get used to that. Yeah, so after this left-hander, that's where it was quite sandy last time. A couple of pretty sandy, sharp bends. Let's see how we get on. Yeah, you can already see there's sand on the road here. Yep. trick here is to avoid having to brake as much as possible, because stopping in sand is not going to be easy. It's quite deep layer of sand on this bend. It's alright, I'm being a sissy because it's my first time on the bike, remember? But yeah, certainly could do without dropping the bike first time on the trails, if at all possible. So we'll be a little bit cautious today. Need to gradually build the confidence, obviously. Confidence in the bike, confidence in myself. I should say this bike is at least 100 times more capable than the rider at the moment. But slowly catch a monkey. We can't do it all at once. And also going nice and slow is much nicer anyway. I get to check out the scenery. I think we survived the worst of the sandy bit. It was really just those couple of bends. So yeah, these trails, they kind of have a bit of everything. I mean, they have deep ruts, they have big rocks, and then they have smoother sections, and they also have sandy sections, so a little bit of everything, except mud. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when I get a bit more confidence in this bike, just how capable it is. Obviously plenty of people have done plenty of extreme things with these bikes, so I don't think there are many things it can't do. Oh, so this is it now, we're heading right towards the main road, I believe. So what else have I got to do with this bike? Well, what I've got to do is I haven't really got anything in the panniers apart from my camera gear and my coffee. I haven't really got anything in the panniers because I haven't really decided what I want to take with me when I go off-road. So I need to figure that out. I guess some kind of basic toolkit would be sensible. I might see if I can get a little air pump or something, so that if I have to I can let air out of the tyres if I get stuck in a sandy area somewhere. And then pump them back up again when I've finished. So yeah, I've got to kind of decide what I need for the panniers. At the moment they're just there to get kicked every time I get on and off the bike. Although it's nice not having my rucksack on. I must admit it's nice having the camera stuff and the drink in the cases. Yeah, this is it. We're nearing the end of the trail. It seemed to take a lot longer last time, but then I think I got lost a couple of times. So this is where you get a nice steep drop, and at the bottom there was another little water crossing. Well, that's what I'm calling it anyway. It's like a little stream. Right, we better have a bit of first here because it does get steep. Down between those trees is where we're going. Oh, most pleasant. Yeah, that's a lot steeper than it looks on the camera, I can tell you. I remember when I came down here in Buddy, I was having kittens because it looked like the road just disappeared over the brow of that hill. Watch those loose stones. Don't target fixate on the things you're trying to avoid. Well, there we go. That's the worst of that over. So down here we did have a little rivulet last time. I don't know if we've got one today. Probably not. It's been very dry this spring, as I've mentioned previously. No, doesn't look like we do. That's a shame. I was looking forward to a river crossing. So was Norman. Don't worry, Norman. Your time will come. We will cross a river together one day. But yeah, I think I'd never get bored of riding this trail, to be honest. I mean, plus there are a couple of different routes you can take anyway. It's just really nice. It might be boring for the channel, so I probably won't film it every time, but it's definitely a trail that I'll enjoy riding for a very long time to come. It's just so quiet and so pretty up there. So we'll just park you up here, Norm, and say goodbye to the folks. Well, there we go, Norman. Your first little adventure on the trails. And look, he's like properly dusty and everything. Awesome. Ah, that's what we want to see. None of these shiny bits. Well, thank you for joining me on my first little trail ride with Norman. Hopefully there'll be many more to come. Thank you for watching. I'm going to nip off home now and get Ruby that sausage. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. It'll probably be with Buddy, because I'm going to try and even it out, off-road, on-road. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye. So, Ruby, what do you think about Daddy getting his bike dirty? Sausages. Is that all? Sausages. Okay, well, you did look after the house for me. So, these sausages are from Bob Kidd and his late Lakeland Terrier, Sydney. Sydney, who is gone, but not forgotten. Yes, so Bob has donated some sausages from himself and in memory of Sydney. How nice is that? So here we go. I'm sure they taste extra good, these sausages. Sausages. Say thank you, Bob and Sydney. Thank you, Bob and Sydney. Nice one.